All right, fastest 15 minutes on the internet, fastest 15 minutes in social media. My name is Judson Powell. All right, I want to talk a little bit about critical race theory. And a friend of mine asked a question about it on his Facebook page. And the one thing that I find very curious about this whole thing is nobody really knows like 100% what this means. And to me, it's just smoke screen and mirrors, just to teach the history, the facts, and the truth. The history is what it is. You can't change what happened. It already happened. So you can't change that. So by acting like something didn't exist or it did exist or whatever, it's not gonna change anything. And I think that the whole critical race theory thing is just a way to disguise another cover up, another lie, and it's all just smoke screen and mirrors. Just tell the truth about the history of the United States of America. It was founded on slavery. It was founded on Jim Crow. It was founded upon tremendous atrocities towards Africans and people from the African diaspora, and you know that just needs to be told. If you're going to tell the truth, then tell the truth and nothing but the truth. So help you God. That I throw in my little court doctorate there, documentation there. I'm sorry. Anyway, so yeah, this then the whole critical race theory, and then you got people that are mad. It's like nobody. I don't get how me discussing my own people and my own race and delivering true facts to people in my race or anybody else that does that, how that's bad, or how somehow it makes us evil or villains or something like that. Because all these ways, well, my people didn't participate in that, or that was over 200 years ago. We don't have anything to do with it, and blah 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 blah. I mean, and which is simply not true. And the other thing is, you don't want to give up the privileges that you have gained through the oppression of Africans and through the oppression of people of color around the world. You don't want to get, nobody white wants to give that up. You have the best land, you have a financial head start, you have financial connections that you can just tap into at all time, you have financial nepotism, and you have generational wealth. So it's like, why would you not want anybody else to have that? And the other thing, at this point in history, I believe that reparations, and correct me or say something to me on my inbox if I'm wrong, but I believe that reparations will actually help this country, and also the forgiveness of student loans. Because first of all, if you put all that money out there, just like that's why they put the stimulus checks out there, because they know that people would take the stimulus checks and spend them, and that the economy would move. Why? Because when currency or money is moving, then everybody is happy. And so put that money out there, give people reparations. They'll, so they can buy land, so that they can start businesses and do things like that. Because at this point in history, that's what's going to really boost our economy, especially after this pandemic and all the stuff that's been going on. So yeah, give us the money. And then the other thing about it is people want to be like, oh well, we love black. You got all these people. Oh, we love black people. You got all these white people making stuff on social media and stuff like that, talking about how much they love black people. But the bottom line is just like the Kerner report said back in the day. It's like there's still two Americas. The Sha'Carri Richardson story, it says everything about that. Michael Phelps was also busted smoking marijuana. They sent him to a psychiatrist. Sent him, made him do a whole bunch of mental health commercials and all of this stuff, but they still let him compete and made him the most decorated Olympian of all time. So there's still two Americas, and you look at like even with the guy, Derek Chauvin in the George Floyd case. He got 22 and a half years, eligible for parole in 15, and plus, if he does good time, he's going to get out sooner than that. So let's be real, And in fact, I saw the same post. The guy was there was a black guy, and he was jailed 60 years for selling some marijuana, and now what? Marijuana is becoming legal in all states because it's never been a harm to anybody. It was just put in place as a method of putting people of color in jail. Why is it that, but white people on meth are in danger, and we need to allocate money for their mental health, and it's an illness and it's a disease and all of this kind of stuff. But when crack cocaine hit the streets, everybody on crack or everybody who was selling crack had to go to jail. Which was primarily what? Which was primarily black people. So black and brown people. So let's not mince words and all this kind of stuff. It is what it is. Let's tell the truth for once. Just tell the truth and be like, hey, it was what it was, because people already know the truth. People know the truth. It's not like everybody is not sitting up there saying, oh, well, what's really the deal behind this? And we all know that that's what the 13th Amendment did. If I jail you, if I put you in jail, I make you a slave. I revive your slavedom, your slavehood. That's what the 13th Amendment says. Go read the Constitution. Anybody want to read the Constitution? And the fact of the matter is, they never took out the wording of 3/5 of a man. There's a lot of stuff that's in there. And remember, so it is written, so it is done. So that's why these things and the statues and the monuments, they taking statues out of the Congressional building, out of the Capitol building. They're taking monuments away from, Confederate monuments out and all that kind of stuff. Why? Because those are things that spiritually reinforce racism, systemic racism, and white supremacy. Why should a person that tried to take over the United States, why should they have a statue that I got to pass by every day on my way to work? Ridiculous. And what losing army gets to fly their flag over the land of the victorious army without retribution? I mean, these are things that you got to think about, and things that actually are truthful. And then the other thing that I wanted to talk about was the whole chicken and watermelon thing, at IKEA. And then they said some of the Amazon fulfillment centers also served chicken and watermelon. Well, here's the thing about chicken and watermelon. First of all, I love fried chicken and I love watermelon. Why should we, as a people, be ashamed of something that's part of our culture and that we like? We are the main ones that were complaining about it, saying that it was racist or whatever. It's not racist. It's just like if it was an Italian holiday and we serve pizza and pasta. That they like pasta, they like pizza. That's what they eat. Jewish people go to delicatessens and eat, right? And they have things that they like, gefilte fish, and all these other things that are kosher, that are prayed over by a rabbi. See, that's what we cannot deny our own culture. That's part of our culture. There's nothing wrong with that. And so what? It's embarrassing. So you're trying to say we are, as a people, are embarrassed by our own food? Because that's what we like to eat. It's the same thing with, they would have served whatever. There's a lot of things. Mac and cheese. Black folks love mac and cheese. Black folks love some ribs and some pulled pork and some brisket. But so do white folks. There's a lot of white folks that eat watermelon and chicken. The only when the chicken sandwich was going crazy at Popeyes, let me tell you, It wasn't just black people in line trying to get that sandwich. And so we got to start being proud. Why are we not proud of who we are? That's part of our culture. Y'all ain't afraid to dance and twerk all over. Y'all all on the internet dancing and twerking and everything else, shuffling and doing all other things, and y'all ain't embarrassed about that. So you got to understand, it's like there are two different Americas, and the people, every culture has their own stuff. Like I live in Arizona, we have Mexicans, we have people from Central and South America, we have people that are Native American, meaning Indians and all of that stuff. We got a lot of different people. We got black people, we got white people, we got all different kind of people. And most states are like that now. So what I'm trying to say is, but you never see any other culture distancing themselves from their food. You never see, if you got Mexicans, you never see Mexicans run away from tacos or burritos or anything else. In fact, they'll go and get a whole bag of tacos or a whole bag of burritos or a whole bag of tamales. They sit out there and put a sign up and sell tamales out the house. But they not embarrassed by it. They don't look at it and say, "Oh, well, I don't want to eat tamales," or they don't say that. So please, I give IKEA big props for doing it, and I give Amazon big props for doing it. Because and the other thing is, if that's what they know, that's the other thing. You got to understand, what they know to do is what they see us doing. Cable television has done that. That's how come you got wiggers, you got white folks that think they're black. That's why you got all of that, because now I can go on the TV and I can actually look up, or I could sit there and watch black shows and not have to feel shamed or anything like that, because I could sit in the privacy of my own home and I could watch anything I want. Well, if that's all you see, just like when people come here to America for the first time and they turn on American television and they watch American television, they think everything is a certain way. Just like they think we eat hamburgers and French fries. There are some countries that think that we eat hamburgers and French fries every day, and hot dogs and apple pie and everything like that. Remember when Chevrolet had those commercials, baseball, hot dogs, and apple pie? I think that might have been Chevrolet. I don't know exactly, but you got to understand, when people see that stuff, that's what their knowledge is. That's what their limited knowledge base is. That's all they got. That's all they know, because that's all they seen. Because they don't live in the black community. They not hanging out in the hood with y'all. So the only thing that they know is what they see or what somebody tells them. So the first thing is, so if watermelon and chicken are an embarrassment to black people, then nobody should be allowed to eat their cultural food. I mean, it's actually serious. And even with a lot of other stuff, I mean, you see people just like my wife is from Louisiana. She loves seafood boils because that's what she ate growing up. She ate crab and crawfish and all that stuff, andouille sausage. I think that's what it is, right? Tastes good, but if they were having a day for the people that live down where she is, in her little parish on the water, that's what they would serve, and she would be happy, right? Anyway, fast 15 minutes is up. My name is Judson Powell. Like button, subscribe button, notification button, hit all the buttons most of all. Hit the love button. I love everybody. Y'all stay safe over the weekend.